Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Ingrid Thulin, born January 27, 1926, in Sollefteå, Sweden, died January 7, 2004, in Stockholm, Sweden, was a remarkable Swedish actress. Widely regarded as one of the finest performers of European cinema, known for her haunting emotional depth, intelligence, and austere beauty. She was a frequent collaborator of legendary director Ingmar Bergman, becoming one of the key faces of his existential and psychological dramas. Thulin studied acting at the Royal Dramatic Theatre School in Stockholm and began her career on stage and in Swedish films during the late 1940s and early 1950s. Her breakthrough came when she joined Bergman's ensemble of actors, a creative partnership that would define much of her career. She first appeared in his 1957 masterpiece, Wild Strawberries, playing the ethereal Sara, a character who embodies youthful vitality and lost innocence. Her ability to project both warmth and melancholy made her an ideal Bergman actress. In the 1960s and 1970s, Thulin starred in several of Bergman's most profound and unsettling films, including The Magician, 1958, The Silence, 1963, Winter Light, 1963, and Cries and Whispers, 1972. In Winter Light, her portrayal of Marta, a woman tormented by unrequited love and spiritual despair, is one of the great performances in Bergman's cinema, a raw depiction of human loneliness and yearning for connection. Her performance in Cries and Whispers, where she plays one of three sisters confronting mortality, brought her international acclaim. And the film won an Academy Award for Best Cinematography while earning Thulin the Guldbagge Award, Sweden's top film honor, for Best Actress. Thulin's talents extended beyond Sweden. She worked with directors across Europe, including Luchino Visconti, Alain Resnais, and Alberto Latuada, bringing her introspective screen presence to Italian and French cinema. Her multilingual ability and cosmopolitan sensibility allowed her to transcend borders, earning her a respected place in the pantheon of European actresses alongside Liv Ullmann, Jean Moreau, and Harriet Andersson. Ingrid Thulin was not just an actress but an intellectual force, deeply thoughtful about the craft of acting and the moral questions explored in her films. She often portrayed characters marked by repression, guilt, and existential anguish, yet she imbued them with humanity and quiet resilience. Later in her career, she also directed and wrote. Exploring her creative independence outside of acting, Thulin lived much of her later life in Italy, though she remained connected to Sweden and Bergman's circle. She passed away in 2004, just shy of her 78th birthday, after a long illness. Her legacy endures in the enduring power of her performances, precise, courageous, and emotionally fearless. Ingrid Thulin remains one of cinema's great tragic heroines, an actress who could turn silence into eloquence and suffering into art. Ingrid Thulin's life and work were deeply intertwined with the artistic and philosophical landscape of mid-20th century Europe. Like many of Ingmar Bergman's frequent collaborators, she belonged to a generation of actors who viewed cinema not merely as entertainment but as a medium for exploring the human condition. Born to a modest family in Sollefteå, Thulin grew up in a Sweden still shaped by rural traditions and wartime austerity. Her quiet determination led her to Stockholm in her late teens, where she trained at the Royal Dramatic Theatre School, an institution that produced some of Sweden's most accomplished performers. Even early in her career, she was known for her seriousness and inward focus. Colleagues often remarked on her intensity and dedication, qualities that later defined her screen persona. Her partnership with Ingmar Bergman proved transformative. Thulin became part of a repertory company that included B.B. Andersson, Harriet Andersson, Gunnar Bjornstrand, and Max von Sydow, a group whose faces came to represent Bergman's moral and spiritual universe. While some of her co-stars projected emotional volatility, Thulin's power came from restraint. Her performances were controlled, almost sculptural, but beneath the surface lay deep emotional turbulence. In The Silence, 1963, she portrayed one of two sisters trapped in a foreign city as war looms in the distance, a film stripped of conventional plot and dialogue, yet charged with erotic tension and despair. Thulin's portrayal of Esther, a repressed and dying intellectual, is unforgettable, her face pale and strained, her body consumed by illness and unspoken longing. The performance was controversial for its time but is now hailed as one of the most daring and modern in European cinema. Bergman often cast Thulin in roles that dealt with spiritual emptiness, desire, and the search for redemption. Her characters were women burdened by intellect and emotion, struggling against silence, both literal and existential. Thulin once remarked that working with Bergman was like holding a mirror to one's soul, an experience that was often painful but artistically purifying. Outside of her work with Bergman, Thulin sought to expand her artistic range. She appeared in Visconti's The Damned, 1969, an operatic portrayal of moral decay within a Nazi-era industrial family, where she played a cold yet tragic matriarch. In Salon Kitty, 1976, she once again explored themes of power and eroticism, bringing complexity to roles that might have been sensational in lesser hands. She also ventured into directing and writing, co-directing Brusten Himmel, Broken Sky, 1982, and publishing an autobiographical book that revealed her reflective, philosophical nature. Thulin's writings suggested a woman both private and searching, skeptical of fame and drawn to solitude. Personally, Ingrid Thulin was known for her reserve and independence. She married twice, first to actor Anders Ek, and later to composer Harry Schein, a prominent figure in Swedish cultural life and founder of the Swedish Film Institute. Though both marriages ended, she maintained strong friendships within Sweden's artistic elite. In the later years, she divided her time between Stockholm and Rome, preferring the quiet rhythms of Italian life to the public world of film premieres and interviews. Thulin suffered from cancer in her final years but continued to work and write until her health declined. When she passed away in 2004, tributes poured in from across Europe, hailing her as one of the last great interpreters of Bergman's metaphysical cinema, a performer who gave voice to the most delicate and difficult emotions. Her legacy is one of courage, introspection, and integrity. Ingrid Thulin never chased glamour or stardom. Instead, she pursued truth in its rawest form. Her films remain a testament to the enduring power of quiet intensity and moral seriousness, qualities that make her one of the essential figures in world cinema. Ingrid Thulin's influence and legacy extend far beyond the decades in which she worked. Though she never became a conventional movie star in the Hollywood sense, her artistry helped define a new kind of screen acting, one that emphasized interiority, moral complexity, and emotional truth over glamour or theatricality. For many critics and filmmakers, Thulin represented the quintessential Bergman woman, intelligent, sensitive, and existentially wounded. Yet it would be a mistake to see her only through that lens. What made Thulin exceptional was her ability to embody paradoxes, fragility and strength, sensuality and austerity, intellect and vulnerability. Her characters often lived on the edge of psychological collapse, yet she conveyed a sense of dignity and composure that gave them gravity. In her performances, silence became expressive. Few actors could use stillness the way Thulin did. Her eyes could communicate whole emotional landscapes, from despair to quiet revelation. This gift made her an influence on later generations of European actresses such as Juliette Binoche, Isabelle Huppert, and Liv Ullmann, all of whom have cited Thulin's work as formative in their understanding of screen presence. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Thulin's reputation grew among European auteurs. Directors admired her emotional intelligence and her fearlessness in confronting taboo subjects, sexual repression, illness, death, and faith. When she worked with Luchino Visconti in The Damned, she entered a new phase of her career, where her Nordic restraint collided with the operatic grandeur of Italian cinema. Her portrayal of Sophie von Essenbeck, the matriarchal figure navigating moral rot and family power struggles, added a chilling counterpoint to Visconti's decadence. Her collaborations with European directors reinforced her image as a cosmopolitan artist, one equally at home in Swedish minimalism and continental opulence. She was fluent in several languages and moved effortlessly between national cinemas, a rare feat in her era. Her performances in The Damned and Salon Kitty demonstrated that her artistry transcended borders. She was a citizen of the world cinema, not confined to a single style or culture. By the 1980s, Thulin had become somewhat reclusive. She continued to appear occasionally on screen but increasingly turned to writing and introspection. Her memoir and interviews revealed her as deeply reflective, someone.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.